welcome back. And guess what? I did it again! We now have a third clan on ClanGen that I am adding to the story with TigerClan and KelpieClan. So we got TigerClan up in the mountains, KelpieClan down by the sea, and this is a moorland sort of area, or prairie I suppose you could call it, or meadows, whatever. And this is home to BlossomClan. I've already started piecing together some of the lore in my head for this little fiction story I'm going to have going on with all of them, in which you've got the edge of a mountain range. That is where TigerClan lives, in the mountains. You've got the valley area, which is where you find all the green rolling hills and stuff as they come down from the mountains and ease out, and that's where BlossomClan lives. And then KelpieClan is on the beach, which is the other side. And I imagine there will be areas where, they'd all touch in certain ways, because of course, But, yeah, that's what we've got going on so far. I will say I, not too long ago, made a fourth ClanGen game. However, that one is staying strictly private for my own personal play purposes. I'm loving it, though. It's great. Now, let's meet the cats who started us out here. We have Flower Star, our regular, adult, female, green-eyed, white cat. She's a great teacher, she's calm, she's got 9 lives going. Her deputy, then, is River Flight. Handsome, chocolate or brownish, otherwise. Tick Tabby, he's got the yellow eyes, 53 moons old. He is both responsible and has a strong connection to StarClan. Let's go to our medicine cat, Fawn Whisker. He's feeling sassy today, apparently, according to this screenshot. So he's a young adult. He's only 17 moons old, actually, so he is young. And he's our only medicine cat still. Mr. Colorpoint with the beautiful dark blue eyes here is strange with a strong connection to StarClan. And if I remember correctly, he did some strange things or had strange things occur. So that's a fun one to be having in the medicine den. Then we have just a warrior, Crowfin, this handsome charcoal marbled fellow with his deep amber eyes and his white paws. He's only 34 moons old. Good hunter, responsible, great. Then we have Sparrowberry, who is admiring Flower Star from afar. Oh, so cute. And she is a little lady. She's 72 moons, so she's not like young lady, but she is a lady. She's a very pale tabby, blue eyes. She's cold but very smart. Another lady, this one is young in fact. This is Blotch Eye. And she reminds me of, from the original arc, for Warriors, the Into the Wild, first set of 6. She reminds me of Ashfur and Ferncloud. Like, Blotch-Eye looks like she could have been one of their littermates. I know she wasn't, obviously, because they did have littermates. What was it? Tulip Kit, and there's another, I believe it was a plant-themed name as well. Blotch-Eye is a sweetheart. She's righteous, as well as a great fighter. That's good. We have little Ant Kit, who is just too adorable. I couldn't leave her. This little speckled lady. She's only 3 moons old, and she's sweet, and we don't know much else yet. She's got long fur. Yep, Ant Kit. The StarClan warrior that BlossomClan was assigned is named Red Dust, which is actually kind of a fun name. It almost sounds like Rust, though, like if you just shorten it, like you take the EDD out and you just have Rust instead of Red Dust. I don't know, I feel like you could have a lot of fun with that sort of name. He was only 48 moons when he died, and he looks a lot like Firestar. You got the green eyes, you've got the ginger coat. He was thoughtful and very smart, so good for him. Alright, let's get into it now. Moon 1. Here we go. We managed to find a cat. His name is Lacey. He's actually already a senior in the Elder's Den to you. I will admit, there were some times I found where I tried to not bring certain loners, kitty pets, into the clan, but even though I think I selected the correct thing for them to not join, like trying to chase them off or whatever, they still ended up joining anyway, even though the thing had said they didn't. I don't know what that's about, but okay, whatever. I don't remember if Lacey was one of those cats or not, but I'm just saying that has happened. And then Lacey does look similar in ways to Miss Lacey. They really have the same sort of coloration. They're both tabbies. Granted, they're different kinds of tabbies, but they are both tabbies, so I kind of like the headcanon that Lacey is actually Sparrowberry's father, and they somehow reunited or something, and that's why Lacey joined the clan, because he wanted to be with his daughter, which I don't remember if I had more of a backstory or not for it this time, but whatever. So that was basically it for our first moon. Moon 2! I think there should be like that sound for every moon change. Now we have Crane Stripe, who used to be a kitty pet, and she is new. She's senior adult, so she's still a warrior right now, but it doesn't last too long, which is fine. It's just fine. So a whole whopping 118 moons old. Okay, well, moon 2. We get into moon 3 next. More dun-duns. And this is where things start to change a bit. Greenleaf, 3 moons in. Ant Paw has become an apprentice. Remember, she was only 3 moons old when we started. She's a cute little ant paw now. And Blotch Eye was bit by a snake, but she did live. She does have scars on one of her shoulder now. Good for her. I was very relieved that she lived through that. And then we got some updates going on with the relations between clanmates here at the 3 moon point. We have Sparrowberry, who gave a pretty flower they found to Crowfin. So we're getting set up for a Crowfin-Sparrowberry, maybe, sort of pairing. I'll be honest, it's been so long since I actually played through this and took all the screenshots. I don't quite remember who gets with who right now. But I remember it got pretty dramatic by the time I had finished up back when. And then if we look over to where Fawn Whisker is, closer down on the screen, it says he went for a nice long walk with Riverflight, the deputy. Now there is an interesting thing to note there, but that's coming up shortly. Meanwhile, with our older 2 cats, we have Lacey being frustrated that Crane Stripe won't take her duties more seriously. So Lacey, who only just joined clan life himself, is like, Crane Stripe, I know you were a kitty pet specifically, but if you're gonna be here, ma'am, you need to actually do something to help out, even though he's an elder who sits in the elder's den, and she's still a warrior. And then, look at this. We have got a match. So Sparrowberry and Crowfin have become a couple, right? Remember this. He's a young adult. She's an adult who isn't quite as young. They're both tabbies. They're both adorable. Very attractive cats. He is responsible. She's cold. And they're in love apparently now. Then we get to Moon 4, which I don't actually have an appropriate screenshot for because I didn't plan on making a whole video like this. It sort of just happened and I didn't have a screenshot of the summer background. But that's okay. Let's move a little further in. We've got 2 major things to discuss in terms of relations for this moon. If you look at the top right of this screen, we have Flower Star soothing Crowfin's irrational thoughts. So we may not be sure what his irrational thoughts are, but he is having irrational thoughts. And Flower Star's like, young warrior, you're doing good, man. Believe in yourself. You got this. And then Lacey and Crane Stripe are interacting again. Mind you, Crane Stripe at this point is retired. She's full-on elder, so they're in the same den. And Lacey's telling Crane Stripe in great detail how they would protect them from any danger. Admittedly, now that I'm looking at them, I almost kind of want Crane Stripe to have actually been connected to Lacey before. Maybe they have a history. Like, maybe it was the sort of thing with, like, Jake and Scourge's mom, who I never remember if her name is, like, Quince or Quince or how you're supposed to say it. I think commonly it's called in the fandom Quince. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, we're like, they would meet up because she was maybe an indoor-outdoor cat, and, you know, he's just a loner walking around and got her pregnant, she had a litter, and maybe just doing something similar to what Princess did with her brother and her son, Cloudtail and Firestar. She gave one of their kittens to him, or maybe she gave the whole litter to him, who knows? And regardless, we only have Miss Sparrowberry from that litter, perhaps. We can headcanon. He's just making sure that she knows he will protect her any danger, and he already has the details down to a T. He's got it. He's like, Crane Stripe, don't worry, I got you. Now, if we're looking through the relationships, there was something I began noticing around this time. Mind you, only 4 moons in, yeah? So we go to the deputy's page, we look at his relationships with his clanmates, and what is this? There's a romantic like already. And it's not insignificant amount either. It's Fawn Whisker, the medicine cat. We might have a cute little gay love story here, you know? Deputy, medicine cat. Aw, adorable boys. Look how comfortable Riverflight feels with Fawn Whisker. It's beautiful. And then if we go to Fawn Whisker and we check his relation with Riverflight, what's that? He also feels the romantic like and the comfort level. His platonic like is lesser than Riverflight's is for Fawn Whisker, but that's fine. They're crushing on each other. Maybe it's getting a bit more. Who knows? We'll see. Wink, wink. I actually remember what happens in this part. And then let's take a look real quick at our allegiances. So BlossomClan allegiances. I will warn you as well. At this point, I have to make a note that the allegiances didn't quite show up because for a couple moons, Flower Star, after being hit by a monster, she went back to her original name, Flowerfire, and she was in the Elder's Den, but she was still listed as the leader, and it was a weird thing. Eventually, after I saved and came back in, she was set back to Flower Star, though. So I don't know what that was about. It was probably just like a glitch sort of thing, but it's fine. It's all settled. Flowerfire, a short-furred white she-cat. Riverflight, the deputy. A medium-furred, dark-brown, tick-tabby Tom. His apprentice is Aunt Paw, who happens to be the only apprentice. And she is a long-furred, pale, ginger, speckled she-cat, so think Speckletail. Really? I feel like that is a fitting way to describe her. Even though I've always kind of had canon Speckletail more grayish, maybe? I don't know, I'm not getting into that now. This is for ClanGen, not for canon. And our medicine cat, and our deputy's crush and potential lover. Fawn Whisker, a medicine-furred brown point Tom, which it says brown point, and I know this is going more how they'd be described in the books more than like actual terms. I mean, dark brown tick tabby, that'd really probably just be a black tabby. But anyway, in my opinion, Fawn Whisker almost looks more like either a very light seal point or potentially even, what would the other points be, like lilac or something. But he's handsome, it's fine. He's got them pretty deep blue eyes too. Then we get to our warriors. Let's start with the two ladies. Blotcheye is a medium-furred gray speckled she-cat. Sparrowberry is a medium-furred light brown tabby she-cat. So they're both we have a lot of medium fur going on in this clan, which makes sense. And then we get to our boy, Crowfin. He's a medium-furred black marbled tabby Tom. Mind you, again, Crowfin and Sparrowberry are now mates. Just throwing that out there. Like I said, with that glitch thing, Flower Star is still mentioned also as Flower Fire in the Elder's Den as well as for leader. She's still a short-furred white she-cat. She has been blinded by the monster, but I don't remember if I get an updated image or not for that. The other elders we have, well, the actual elders, are Lacey, a medium-furred light brown speckled Tom. And again, we're going back to the headcanons here, or the behind the story or whatever you want to say, where Lacey is actually father to Sparrowberry. And then the last cat to be mentioned on this allegiance page is Cranestripe, who, might end up being headcanon as Sparrowberry's mother. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, Cranestripe is a medium-furred white and light brown she-cat. Again, I could be kind of difficult about the colors if I really wanted to be critical, but, we're doing this for fun. It's whatever. Alright, now to Moon 5. Almost halfway through our first year. So it's Greenleaf still, yeah? We have Fawn Whisker, medicine cat, right? He ensnares Blotcheye with a charming smile. We have Miss survived a snake bite and has scars on her shoulder. Of course, she would have been seeing the medicine cat a bit more often, probably, if only for checkups. Maybe something's starting to happen. And then we have Lacey telling a story to Sparrowberry, and when I saw that one and then looking at them again, that was really where the headcanon started to take seed and root and whatever, that they're father and daughter. If we look down to the bottom of this screenshot, we have Flower Fire still using her warrior name. She had a huge argument with Crowfin. Mind you, Crowfin is the one she was reassuring not too long ago, but whatever, I guess. And with Miss Flowerfire, she's complaining about being cold. I did add a monster here and labeled it, and then question marks because I wasn't exactly sure what was happening. She's calm. She's blind, which is apparently a personality trait, I guess. I'm joking, of course. She's 73 moons old, and I was still confused because she's listed as being in the Elder's Den despite being an adult, but we don't have a new leader. It was a whole thing that I got caught up in for a little bit. Now, if we move along, we have Fawn Whisker. And again, this is still Moon 5. I was just checking in, and he's telling every cat about his weird dreams. Mind you, his first personality trait is strange, so okay. It's a little concerning that this now 22-moon-old medicine cat is telling everybody about his weird dreams, but whatever, I guess. The clan's probably still really small and tight-knit if you think about it. I had some fun adding things in here, like this dream big thought bubble. As I was sending out the patrols, I sent the newest couple, the only couple so far, Sparrowberry and Crowfin, out together. Just the two of them. They found an abandoned kit whose mother is nowhere to be found, and then I wanted to check something and I didn't realize that I'd lose the new kit because I didn't press proceed first. So they found a kit and immediately lost it because I was dumb and I felt very bad. And then we get to Moon 6. Woo! Halfway through. What's this? Cranestripe is soothing Flowerfire's irrational thoughts. That's actually really sweet because Cranestripe, I don't know if it's just her little pixel, whatever, but she's always come off as a bit, temperamental, we could say. And then we have Blotcheye and Fawn Whisker. Ooh, a couple things happening there. Blotcheye is spending a lot of time with Fawn Whisker, and that sounds like it's going beyond just regular medicine cat checkup. Fawn Whisker, who's telling a story to Blotcheye. So they're hanging out. He's telling her a story. Presumably, he's done talking about his weird dreams with every cat in the clan. Meanwhile, we also see that Crowfin, as well as Sparrowberry, our little couple over here, they are both frustrated with Blotcheye because she's not taking her duties more seriously. Seems there's something happening. The tea is starting to boil. This is just Crowfin being cute. He's decorating the nest, which, I like to think he was doing for his lovely lady. He's 40 moons at this point. If we go to Sparrowberry's relationship stuff, when it comes to Crowfin, she's comfortable with him. She likes him a lot. And the romantic like may technically not even be halfway full or something, but there's a significant amount. It's almost as full as the platonic like, so I think it's going pretty well. He's also the cat she seems to trust the most, or one of the ones she trusts the most at least. Let's check something else. Let's go back to Fawn Whisker and Blotch Eye. I checked them separately and then put the screenshots together here, and they both got some platonic love as well as a romantic feelings happening, and the comfort level, the trust, ooh, man, they've got it for each other apparently. But what about Fawn Whisker's little thing going on behind the scenes with our deputy? Well, with Riverflight, he's worried that there are others judging him, which we could assume has to do with his potential flirtings, feelings, what have you, with the medicine cat. And he's also been teaching his apprentices at this point too, Antpaw. He's responsible in that sort of way. But then we're back at Fawn Whisker and seeing who he prefers. Well, wouldn't you know, his romantic like, it might be more than Fawn Whisker's romantic like for Blotch Eye. However, Fawn Whisker's platonic like for Blotch Eye is beyond half, and for Riverflight, it's less than his romantic like. So Fawn Whisker fell. He fell for the girl. He fell hard, and we do not have a deputy medcat scandal after all. Which, would it really be that scandalous? Who knows? So I just went ahead and was like, you know what? I'll let them be lovebirds, Fawn Whisker and Blotch Eye. Sure, maybe she helps him out too a bit. And just right quick, we're going to pop in with Lacey and check out his relationships. Again, this was one of the other reasons why I decided to headcanon him as Sparrowberry's father, is because that was one of the first cats he really started having good relations with. And since it's platonic and all that, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Sparrowberry, we're saying is his daughter. They're reconnecting. And Cranestripe, we're going to say, used to be his mate, which would make sense why she's only just a little bit comfortable and nothing else with him with her rather, because Sparrowberry is the daughter, we're saying, to Lacey. That means her now mate, Crowfin, he's also a bit comfortable with him. He's getting to know him more. We also see he doesn't really like the leader, Flowerfire, which, And then we also have Antpaw, Miss Apprentice. There's platonic like, comfortability and trust going on just a bit, but it's good. It's good. We got this. We find that Riverflight, he must be a good mentor because it's platonic, of course, but Antpaw absolutely adores him. Look at that platonic love. She thinks he's the best thing ever. So Riverflight, I know you're upset that Fawn Whisker did not choose you. He broke up with you and all that. But for what it's worth, and I know it's not the same, but Antpaw thinks you are supreme. And then, what's this? We have Flowerfire, who never fails to offer comfort to her clanmates. She's still blind. Well, of course she's still blind. She's still in the Elder's Den, and she's still not with the name Star. But this 74, I think that's 74, moon old cat, she's still there, doing everything she can for her clanmates to see them through this time. That's why I added the little yellow star things here, is to show that she really does have Star Clan approval. And I just noticed there happens to be 9 stars, because there are 3 sets of 3. And we can say those are her 9 lives, symbolically speaking. And I just found that really, really amazing that even when she's in a tough situation, and I like to think at this point she's still debating or seeking a sign, saying whether she should just outright retire or she should still be the leader. And I think it's beautiful that she still put her clan's needs ahead and is still comforting them as best as she can in these troubling times. Moon 7! We are still in Leaf Fall at this point. We have some goings on here. And it was rather unexpected and even shocking in some ways, because the first piece of news we get is that Crowfin and Sparrowberry broke up. Who saw that coming? They were doing so well. But then we also have Blotch Eye and Fawn Whisker. And they had a litter of 4 kits. Who could have seen that coming? All that time they were spending together, telling stories, just enjoying each other's presence and whatnot. Ooh, they do have adorable kits. Now, I like to think, because several moons went by with Crowfin and Sparrowberry together with no kits coming. And personally, because I had played the game, a couple other times before, I'm like, wait, why are they taking so long to have kits? Usually after the relationship set up. 1 or 2 moons later, it seems, we get a litter. So I headcanon a bit that there were some potential infertility issues going on between them, and they wanted to have kids, and then there was that kid they found that we can say died or something just because I made a mistake and messed that up for them, and they were the cats who actually found that kid. But let's go over and see what relationship announcements we have for our 7th moon in BlossomClan. Okay, we have lots of little pictures I put here, apparently. So, Blotcheye, she's telling a story to Cranestripe because, okay, yeah, Elder, Queen, sure, they'd probably be hanging out. Lacey, meanwhile, he's sharing prey with Riverflight, the deputy, so maybe he's showing his, I don't know if it'd be allegiance or what, or maybe they're just, chatting over situations. But then we go down to the 3rd one, Sparrowberry. She had a fight with Cranestripe. So not Crowfin, Cranestripe. But Cranestripe does seem to be the kind who would get in everybody's business and be opinionated. And then we go down one more, Crowfin. He had a huge argument with Sparrowberry. Now we can see that he got into an argument with his then mate, Sparrowberry, and now they're broken up. At this point, I could see something's building up here. Ooh, something went down. Meanwhile, Flowerfire is soothing Sparrowberry's irrational thoughts. Sparrowberry being like, I couldn't give him kits, and just got between us, it tore us apart, what if I can never have kits, blah 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 blah, and Flowerfire's like, no dear, you're fine, you're a young cat still, there's time yet, or whatever. Or maybe she's also saying stuff like, it's okay, because even if you never actually have your own kits, you're still here helping the clan, you're lovely, etc., right? She's just offering support for Sparrowberry, who's probably like internally spiraling at this point. And then we see that Blotcheye got into a couple fights, one with Riverflight. Riverflight being the deputy who also initially had the thing with her now technically illegal hubby, the medicine cat Fawnwhisker. So, Riverflight's like, nah, you stole my tomcat and now you have babies with him? What? And then Cranestripe also got into a fight with Blotcheye. I think Cranestripe just likes to stir up trouble and be in everyone's business. She's one of those ladies. And then we see that Fawnwhisker had a huge argument with Sparrowberry. What could they have argued about? I have to wonder. Perhaps there's something going on where maybe she tried to, right, can you do something to help me have kittens? Or did you, do something to prevent me from having kittens? Because now Blotcheye has your kittens, and I should have had kittens. Or maybe that was the whole thing, is that since Medicine Cat Fawnwhisker and now Queen Blotcheye had a litter together, and so soon after they were really amping things up, that it just kind of was the last straw for Sparrowberry and Crowfin, who have been struggling to have a kitten, and the one kitten they found, they ended up not being able to parent because, well, yeah. So that's what I like to think is going on here. It was a moment of the camel's back being broken. And then meanwhile, you have Aunt Paw, who's kind of out of the loop, mind you. She's, other than the brand new kits, she's the youngest cat here, and she's telling a story to Flowerfire. So that's really cute in my opinion. Hopefully Aunt Paw isn't telling Flowerfire the story at the same time Flowerfire is trying to soothe Sparrowberry. But anyway, there's a lot to unpack in this set of announcements. But that's fine, 7 moons in, it's leaf fall. Alright, let's move on. So let's take a look at Blotcheye and Fawnwhisker's kits. We have Shade Kit, Bliss Kit, Bold Kit, and Maple Kit, and they are all freaking adorable. I think my favorite is probably Shade Kit, but I also really like Bold Kit. I actually love all of them. I will say Bliss Kit is a little bit basic, just, very similar to the leader here. I don't remember if Bliss is girl or boy. They are pure white with green eyes. The only of the kittens with green eyes, the others all have blue eyes. Maybe Fawnwhisker or Blotcheye, maybe one of them is actually related in some way to our leader, even if not necessarily directly, but it could be like a Cloudtail Firestar thing, again, where it's not a linear necessarily, but they're still technically kinship. Well, relatively close kinship relations. And now, if we go to Fawnwhisker, our medicine cat still, the weird one, mind you, and we look at the romantic likes, he still has a little bit of feelings and stuff with Riverflight. However, they're about the same as before. But Blotcheye, he is so in love with Blotcheye. He's so comfortable with her. He trusts her so much. This medicine cat now trusts a young queen. Then he trusts the deputy. Which, to be fair, I get it. Especially since Riverflight's having his own issues going on with potential jealousy. Or maybe he feels sabotaged or backstabbed. Because Fawnwhisker was his guy. And, well, these kittens and Blotcheye changed everything, huh? And then if we check Riverflight's status, he's unsure of what the rest of the clan thinks of him as deputy. I thought that was kind of funny because he's still wondering, I suppose, how much of the drama really matters now that Fawn Whisker has a queen and children with her. Meanwhile, Riverflight's like, dang, I'm 60 moons. I got no mate. I got no kits. The only lover I had is gone now. I'm a mess. Does the clan still appreciate me? Do they still respect me at all? That's what I think was happening anyway. Meanwhile, we go to Blotchai. And we see that she's refusing to follow the deputy's recent orders due to her own morals. I can only assume he asked her to, like, throw the kits in the river, or I guess it would be the ocean if we're talking how I'm setting this up in canon. And she's like, no, are you kidding? These are my kits. I love them. Their little lives, they'll make our clan strong. I don't care what you say about them or think about them. They're beautiful. Fawn Whisker and I made them, and we made them with love. Which I'm sure Riverflight would just absolutely appreciate. And then if we come over and check in with Fawn Whisker, he's staring intently at something no other cat can see. What is this? What's he staring into? Is it nothingness? Like literal nothingness? Or maybe it's the future. Or maybe it's the past. Or maybe it's an alternate universe. Who knows? Who really knows? He could be looking into cat hell for all we know. So he's still a young guy, 24 moons, right? And he's still strange. Still got a strong connection to StarClan, so cool, good for him. But, I just threw some of the cats up that he's been involved with. So we have his mate, Blotchai, the mother of his children. We have his former flame, Riverflight. We have Sparrowberry and Crowfin. He's been not necessarily the best with, and like I said, because that stuff showed, I have to think there was something in that, oh, they had kittens right away, but we didn't, and we've been trying for so long. So let's go over to Crowfin, though, real quick. He wants to have kits. This was what really sealed the plot for me. Seeing that Crowfin wants to have kits after all of this happened, and the poor guy broke up with his mate after they were together for multiple moons and no kits came. They found one and it was lost again, which wasn't their fault, but it's just so sad. He just wants to be a proper papa. And I imagine that desire stressed out Sparrowberry, who, maybe she wanted to have kits too. I guess technically she might not have, but now, let's go to her papa though. We see Lacey. He's got opinions, right? Sparrowberry, his girl, we're saying his daughter, we've got the platonic like, we've got the comfortable, we got the trust. None of his relations are too high. Actually, it looks like he's most comfortable around Aunt Paw, which is a little bit odd. We could, though, potentially hypothesize that she's also related to him, maybe? I don't know. And then we look at Sparrowberry's ex-mate, so his ex-son-in-law, Crowfin, and it's all gone. Just a little bit of comfort, that's it. He's otherwise fairly neutral. And then if we check in at Riverflight, the deputy, again, we see there's a little bit of trust, a little bit of comfort, and a little bit of platonic like. So I think it's just an interesting thing to note. Lacey is more aligned with his daughter Sparrowberry, and he's not thrilled with what happened with Crowfin, but I like to think they're still amicable with each other. Lacey understands how things went, and in terms of Riverflight, Lacey's like, no, Riverflight's right. We're a clan. Medicine cats aren't supposed to have kits and mates and all that. So he's right to be mad at Fawn Whisker and Blotchai, especially because, those two getting together and having kids seemed to would have sealed the deal for the breakup of Crowfin and Sparrowberry. And then we go over to Sparrowberry, and we see, her bars for Crowfin, which is just a little sad. But then we notice something else. What's this? She's got some feels for Riverflight. Ooh, the platonic like actually isn't too far off, if not about the same as for Crowfin. Now, she's got dislike for both the boys about equally now. She's got respect for them both, about the same amount of comfort for them, and she trusts Riverflight more than she trusts Crowfin at this point. Do we have something budding? Well, looky here. Not gonna lie, I thought there was more to this, but apparently that's where I stopped. So, let's wrap up, and this is our allegiances at the end of what's happened so far for BlossomClan of the Moorland. We're going to say the valley. We're going to say they're in the valley between the mountain range and the ocean where TigerClan and KelpieClan live. So our allegiances, we have Flowerfire, a short-furred white she-cat. Again, since then, I think I did play a little bit more. I don't think I took screenshots though. She has gone back to being Flower Star unless I log back in and it's different again. We'll see, I guess. We have the Deputy, Riverflight, medium fur, dark brown tick tabby Tom with his apprentice Antpaw. Our medicine cat is Fawn Whisker, a young, medium furred brown color point Tom. We have Sparrowberry heading our warriors here. She's a medium furred light brown tabby she-cat. We have Crowfin, our other warrior, a medium furred black marbled tabby Tom. We have our apprentice, Antpaw, long-furred, pale ginger speckled she-cat. We've got our queen, Miss Blotcheye, who's medium-furred, gray-speckled she-cat. And we've got our elders, which Flowerfire is still technically counting as, even though she's still also in leader position. We have Lacey, the medium-furred, light brown speckled Tom. We have Cranestripe, a medium-furred, white and light brown she-cat. And we have the Kit, the one and only litter so far. Shade Kit, a medium-furred, brown tick tabby Tom. Bliss Kit, a medium-furred, white Tom. Bold Kit, a long-furred, brown smoke Tom. And Mabel Kit, a medium-furred, white and brown Tom. So they're all boys. 4 boys in this litter between Medicine Cat and a queen. And I'm going to call that there. And I'll give you guys updates at some point. I think I'd like to start streaming play of this as well with the various clans and then piecing them together in like YouTube videos and stuff. I haven't forgotten about the other stuff I've been doing on this channel, but so this is Tiger Feather Rawr, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Go play some ClanGen, it's amazing.